As many of you know, the relationship between China and the Chinese government and the federal government that we currently have here in Canada, led under Justin Trudeau, has been less than successful. And, I'm probably significantly understating how bad it is. For those of you who don't know, there are Canadians who have been detained by the Chinese government. We have seen the Chinese government impose essentially what results to sanctions on some of Canada's main exports to that country, many agricultural products. I get calls in my office almost on a daily basis about the severe impact that this is having on the Canadian economy. Yet Justin Trudeau has done virtually nothing to address this issue. Now, I read a story that has really concerned me, and it relates to somebody you all know and I've interacted with many times, John McCallum. So John McCallum, who those of you who might not know who he served as Trudeau's immigration minister, and then he was appointed as Canada's ambassador to China. He left under a cloud of controversy, and since then, Canada actually hasn't had an ambassador to China. Justin Trudeau hasn't even appointed one in the middle of this significant diplomatic crisis. And today, I read this article where it says that McCallum, and this is a CBC article, and I'm just reading right from it, McCallum cautioned Beijing about a change in government. So let me read part of this article for you so you just know what happened. John McCallum, who was fired as ambassador in January amid mounting tensions between Canada and China, said in a recent interview that he has warned former contacts in China's Foreign Affairs Ministry that any further, quote, punishments imposed on Canada's exports could, here's the real concerning part, trigger a change of government that would be unfavorable to Beijing. Here's his quote: anything that is more negative against Canada will help the Conservatives, who are much less friendly to China than the Liberals. McCallum was reported as telling the South China Morning Post. This story was published on Wednesday. Wait, what? You have a very senior Liberal official going to a significant foreign government and advising that that government's relationship with our country should be predicated on ensuring that Justin Trudeau stays in power? That's pretty serious. That's not a great thing. So set aside the issue that we're having, the diplomatic concerns that we're having right now. This is completely unacceptable. So what are we going to do about it? So what we've done is our Conservative Party Deputy Leader, Lisa Raitt, my good friend, she wrote a letter to the Canadian Security Intelligence Services Director, and she has asked that we investigate whether these comments pose a threat to the security of Canada. And in the letter she writes, this advice was partisan in nature and encouraged the government of China to take specific actions in order to influence Canada's democratic process. Look, regardless of how you vote, you should be concerned when you've got a senior official of a political party in Canada who has had influence in these situations, advising people in another country to directly get involved or govern its actions in order to influence the outcome of a federal election in benefit of one party over another. So today as well, my party leader, Andrew Scheer, released another statement, what our party leader, Andrew Scheer, was saying today is that Trudeau has not actually spoken out on this issue. He's had multiple chances to come out and condemn McCallum, to sort of make him persona non grata, and he has not done so. And so here's part of the statement he put together. Justin Trudeau has had several opportunities to condemn his former ambassador and cabinet minister, John McCallum's invitation to China to help re-elect the Liberals in Canada's upcoming federal election. He failed to do so. Canadians can now only conclude that Trudeau approves of Mr. McCallum's invitation to interfere in the election, and that this is part of his re-election strategy. And I think Andrew's right. This is crazy. Like, when you think about Trudeau's changes to the election law in C-76, when you think about the amount of foreign influence that is coming into the country that Trudeau has failed to stop, when you think about the fact that Justin Trudeau is flying around Canada on the taxpayer dollars, essentially campaigning, I'm going to do another video on that later this week, while federal political parties aren't allowed to spend right now, this is pretty serious stuff. And some of you have heard me say this before, but I really want you to have a think about this. You know, democracies don't die in some sort of fiery Hollywood explosion. Democracies die when people like us in Canada don't care or become apathetic when things like this happen. This is really serious. The fact that Trudeau has not come out and condemned this and has not, sort of said, look, this is not what we're doing, is indicative. And I mean, this has been days since this has happened. This is indicative of a man who, I think believes that Canada is going to give him free license to erode our democracy, right? Especially when you look back at what we've spent a lot of time talking about this year, the fact that Trudeau stands alleged by Jody Wilson-Raybould of trying to interfere in the independence of Canada's judiciary. These are the things that we need to care about. And again, you might be watching this and say, I'm not a conservative. I don't care. We shouldn't be letting the supposed leader of our country get away with things like this, because that's how democracies do die, is when we don't care and we don't hold these leaders to account and we make it okay. So we're going to keep, as the Conservative Party, we're going to definitely keep on this particular issue. But share this story. Share this story with someone who votes Liberal and somebody who is concerned about what's going on, and just say, look, we have a senior Liberal official who has been, has had to quit out of a cloud of controversy, who is still giving advice to the Chinese government and is talking about it in their newspaper, and that advice is to, essentially, it's to interfere in the upcoming election. That's scary and that's crazy. Ugh, man. So many things to talk to you about this week. I will have some more videos coming out on a variety of other topics, but share this. It really helps us get the word out when other organizations aren't doing that for us. Working hard for you in Calgary. Have a great day.